Straight ahead on JSU NewsWatch. Jackson State students join others around the country in a hands-up walkout and peaceful protest.
NBA superstar and business mogul Earvin Magic Johnson shares his secrets to success on and off the basketball court.
And call it Tiger Pride. We'll introduce you to the newest addition to our One JSU family.
JSU NewsWatch on TigerTV starts now.
Hello, welcome to a special edition of JSU NewsWatch.
The newscast produced by journalism students of the Mass Communications Department.
I'm Perryman Wright.
And I'm Regina Tony. Our top story today, students at Jackson State share their support and outrage over the Ferguson non-indictment by staging a hands-up walkout.
They joined hundreds of people around the country who walked out of their schools and places of work in solidarity with Ferguson and other communities across the country affected by police violence.
This comes after a St. Louis County prosecutor announced the grand jury's decision not to indict Darren Wilson, a white officer, for the shooting death of an unarmed black teen, Michael Brown. Dozens of Jackson State students walked out of their classes at noon to meet in the JSU Student Center and walked down the plaza, waiting in silence for 4.5 minutes at the roundabout to represent the 4.5 hours Michael Brown lay dying in the street.
We got tape to put over our mouths because we wanted the world to see that we want our voices heard. Although our mouths may be duct taped, you will hear our voice, which is why we have on our shirts, and some people are holding up, it says "I am Black Excellence" with the hashtag Black Lives Matter, because we want to emphasize that, our life is valuable.
Although this protest was a peaceful one, the case has generated sometimes violent protests with demands that Wilson face charges. Despite no charges being filed, Wilson has resigned from the police force.
Another set of protests coming after yet another grand jury's decision not to bring any criminal charges against a white officer for the chokehold death of an unarmed black man in New York. Hundreds of protesters gathered on the campus of University of California on Sunday. They proceeded to march down a main highway in Berkeley. Berkeley police estimated between 500 to 600 demonstrators. These protests were peaceful. However, on Saturday evening, confrontations between demonstrators and police ensued, resulting in 6 arrests, a minor injury to a police officer, and damage to a local business. The officer-induced chokehold death of Eric Garner in New York and the killing of Michael Brown, an unarmed black teen in Ferguson, Missouri, have exposed a tense relationship between police and African Americans, especially African American males. They have also rekindled a nationwide debate over race relations in the United States. A 1961 Freedom Rider shares his near-death experiences from 53 years ago.
Hank Thomas talked about his ordeal as a young civil rights activist with students, faculty, and alumni at the 137th Founders Day convocation at Jackson State University. TigerTV reporter Maurice Williams has more.
From a private church school to a high research facility, Jackson State University is a testament to courage, vision, and leadership. On Thursday, October 23rd, the university held its 137th Founders Day convocation. Alumnus Michael Barksdale Jr. had this to say on the event.
137 years ago, a milestone was made. And that milestone has transpired to 137 years later.
When introductions were over, Professor Rico Chapman introduced the speaker, Freedom Rider Hank Thomas, who shared that with great life struggles comes greater rewards.
I've raised my glasses to their memories. For memories are all that I have left of them now. And memories, they don't leave like people do. They always stay with you.
The band concluded the program with Stars and Stripes. With the ceremony over, professors were eager to express their views about the speaker.
I thought the speaker was marvelous. I have been in higher ed for 25 years, so I have been to numerous Founders Day programs, and I thought this was absolutely the best. I thought he was motivational, he was historic, he gave us something to think about.
The reception was held at the JSU Ballroom. As the reception concluded, Speaker Hank Thomas signed autographs and offered more insight and wisdom.
only 10% of Jackson's black population could be called anywhere middle class in terms of income. So you've had that expansion of the black middle class all over the country.
Tradition established and spirits renewed, many look forward to next year's 138th convocation.
Out of the 7 original Freedom Riders on that bus, Thomas is the only one still living.
In other news, Jackson State recently held a conference to celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week. The event was a partnership with the Kaufman Foundation and the College of Business's Department of Entrepreneurship. This year's theme was Unleashing the Entrepreneur Within.
There was also a Tiger Tank competition where up-and-coming entrepreneurs could pitch their business ideas. Several members of the JSU student chapter of National Association of Black Journalists were part of a young entrepreneurs panel that focuses on the challenges and rewards of starting your own business.
The conference also provided workshops on global opportunities in contracting, certification, and funding opportunities for women-owned small businesses.
NBA legend and entrepreneur Irvin Magic Johnson shared a few of his secrets to business success. Johnson held a series of lectures including a speaking engagement with students at the College of Business and student athletes at the Athletics and Assembly Center.
JSU TV's Maura Mode has the story of Johnson's magic touch.
Legendary NBA player, champion, and Hall of Famer Magic Johnson paid a special visit to Jackson State University to send an important message to the students. His first stop was none other than the administration tower to get a warm welcome from Jackson State President Dr. Carolyn Myers.
Yesterday, we had the International Vice President for Education from Apple.
Is that right?
Here.
Wow.
To give us this Distinguished School for Leadership, Innovation, Educational Excellence.
Wow.
Only 5 in the country have it.
Uh-oh. High five.
Once acquainted with the president and other faculty and staff, Magic was then off to the Legacy in the Student Center to get a first-hand look at his very own Sodexo Magic staff. His journey around campus didn't stop there. The School of Business was filled to capacity with anxious students awaiting Magic's advice as well as valuable information on how to become a successful entrepreneur. And not just any entrepreneur, a minority.
See, never build a business without knowing there's a demand for that business. So I understood there was no goods and services in our community, so I wanted to bring quality goods and services to the urban consumer. Because we had to drive an hour outside our community to get those goods and services. So let me see, man, $2 trillion spending power. That means nobody's speaking to these people. That means there's no competition. Got that, Irvin? Demand, no competition. Wow. Magic got a good chance of being successful.
The day brought a special visit to the Walter Payton Fitness and Wellness Center, which also yielded a one-on-one opportunity for the athletes of JSU to get some insight on teamwork, dedication, and health.
If you've been putting the work in, because that's so important, because it's not what you do in the game. You have to first be the hardest worker in practice first. See, the best athletes I know was also the hardest workers in practice.
The last and final stop of the All-Star showcased Mayor Tony Yarber giving Mr. Johnson the highest honors on behalf of the city of Jackson. The Rose E. McCoy Auditorium was full of warmth and the eagerness of the entire student body of JSU to behold the example of what hard work and a great mind can do.
That gave me a platform to do what I'm doing today.
Johnson advised the crowd that research and executing a plan are essential to any business.
A group of journalists in the business of speaking out recently paid a visit to Jackson State University. The Trotter Group is a national society who work to ensure that the voices of black columnists speak the loudest on issues affecting African Americans. During their meetings at JSU, USA Today columnist Dwayne Wickham spoke with history professor Dr. Robert Luckett about a recent tar baby comment made by former Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour.
And he seems to find himself in positions where he has to backtrack from those comments, trying to explain away something like a tar baby comment that clearly has racialized references. And The reality is, Haley Barber is a very smart man. He understands those connotations and those connections. And so whether it was just a slip, he certainly knows the damage and the danger in using language like that. So it's really not excusable, even from a man who's now a former governor, no longer governor, but still has incredible power in this state.
The journalist also shared advice with mass communication students.
In other news, comedian Bill Cosby is no longer affiliated with his alma mater, Temple University. Cosby holds 2 degrees from Temple. However, he resigned from the university's Board of Trustees after allegations of sexual misconduct. 15 women have come forward accusing the legendary comedian of drugging and raping them over 20 years ago. His attorney has continuously denied these claims, and Cosby has not made any formal statements. Cosby also recently resigned from his fundraising post at the University of Massachusetts. Cosby is scheduled to come to Jackson to perform at the Thyamara Hall in February. No word yet whether that event will be canceled. That brings us to our TigerTV Facebook question. In light of the growing number of women coming forward with accusations of being drugged and raped by the entertainer, do you think Bill Cosby's performance in Jackson should be canceled? We will share some of your answers later in the newscast.
Still to come on JSU NewsWatch, good news for James Bond fans.
And a Hollywood actor and director comes to JSU to share some propaganda. The Chris Campbell has those stories and more in entertainment news, so don't go away.
Welcome back to JSU NewsWatch. 2 iconic film franchises are back, and Pharrell Williams and Tyler Perry both have a new reason to be happy.
The Chris Campbell joins us with today's Hollywood Minute. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Regina and Perriman. Question, are you all James Bond fans?
Oh, most definitely.
Then I have great news for you. The 24th film in the James Bond franchise now has a title, Spectre. Director Sam Mendes revealed the title and cast at an event in London. Daniel Craig will return for his 4th go as British spy. Ralph Fiennes and Naomi Harris are also back. Monica Bellucci has been cast as the newest Bond girl. Other newcomers include Oscar winner Christoph Waltz and Andrew Scott. Shooting is slated to begin on Monday.
I'll be back.
As promised, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back in the role that helped make him famous. The first trailer for the latest Terminator film has hit the internet. The movie will also feature Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke taking over the role of Sarah Connor. Terminator Genesis hits theaters July 1st. Pharrell Williams has another reason to be happy. The Grammy-winning music producer has received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Williams has been riding a wave of success since 2013 when his tracks Blurred Lines and Get Lucky were the top 2 songs in the country. And Tyler Perry is a happy dad. The 45-year-old media mogul and his girlfriend, Jalila Bakel, welcomed a son named Aman into the world last Sunday. A source tells People magazine that mom and baby are happy and healthy. That's all for your Hollywood Minute. I'm the Chris Campbell. Back to you.
Thanks, Chris. Straight ahead. Find out why some St. Louis players are up in arms, and Alcorn State has a SWAC attack. Sports is next.
And later, Christmas comes early to a local family. You're watching JSU NewsWatch on TigerTV. Stay with us.
I'm Will Lawrence with your sports trend. The Southwestern Athletic Conference released its 2014 all-conference teams, and 6 Jackson State Tigers were selected. All the Tigers selected were second-team members. Lamontez Ivy and Daniel Williams highlight the Tigers selected on the offensive side of the ball, while senior Arian McCree was the lone defensive selection, and Ryan Deasing was the only special team member for JSU. The only other senior that made the team was offensive lineman Jonathan Smith. Marcus Cook rounds out the list of Tigers named to the all-SWAC team, and call it a SWAC attack. John Gibbs Jr. threw for 245 yards and 3 touchdowns on Saturday to lead Alcorn State to a 38-24 win over Southern for their first win in the Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship game. Gibbs was 20 of 30 and added 132 rushing yards, as Alcorn won its first conference championship since 1994, when they were co-champions with Grambling State and first outright since 1992. In the NBA, it was a royal court. Britain's Prince William and his wife Kate were in attendance as the Cleveland Cavaliers earned their 7th straight win, down in the Nets 110-88 in Brooklyn. LeBron James scored 9 of his 18 points in the third quarter when the royal couple took courtside seats after meeting with NBA Commissioner David Stern. Before the game, James, teammate Kyrie Irving, and 4 Nets players wore shorts that said, "I can't breathe," to honor the family of Eric Gardner, who died after a police officer put him in a chokehold. The St. Louis Police Officers Association says it's profoundly disappointed with those football players who sent a silent but strong message before playing Sunday against the Oakland Raiders. Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin, Jared Cook, Chris Givens, and Kenny Britt walked onto the field and raised their palms in the air, demonstrating the hands up, don't shoot gesture that protesters in Ferguson have been using for months. Finally, congratulations to Jackson State University football great Willie Richardson. The Southwestern Athletic Conference Hall of Fame wide receiver received a Lifetime Achievement Award by the SWAC Alumni Association. Richardson was among 4 luminaries recognized during its annual Legends reception this month at the Sterling Student Center on the campus of Texas Southern University in Houston. This was Trending in Sports. I'm Will Owens. Have a great day.
Welcome back. Earlier in the newscast, we told you that entertainer Bill Cosby is coming to Jackson.
An official at Thalia Merrill Hall says Cosby is confirmed for February 26th. Ticket details have not yet been announced. We asked whether you thought Cosby's performance should be canceled now that more women have come forward to accuse Cosby of rape. Here are a few of your comments. O. Tate said, Bill Cosby is America's dad. Dwayne W. says, Bill Cosby may be guilty as charged by all of these women, but we should not behave like a lynch mob in judging.
There certainly is a lot of controversy surrounding the topic.
I know, especially since we all grew up watching the Bill Cosby Show.
Exactly. Jackson State University and the Jackson Zoo are partnering in the raising of a rare Sumatran tiger named Echo. The JSU Tigers have officially adopted the 100-pound male cub born in May, and through a special partnership agreement, JSU will sponsor the cub for use in learning exhibits, for teaching children, and exercises for students, as well as marketing and zoo membership for JSU personnel. Plans include creating special play areas for small children near the exhibit and installing a tiger cam.
Finally, members of our JSU chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists played Santa.
That's right. Every year, JSU NABJ chapter tries to make a local family's Christmas a little merrier. This year, members gave a party and gifts to the Mason family. 8-year-old Alexander Mason and his 3-year-old sister Ashley, along with cousin and grandmother, had a great time.
That was so great seeing smiles on those children's faces.
And it was even greater to be a part of an organization that helped to put those smiles there.
Yeah, that's why I love doing what we do. Well, that's all the time that we have on this edition of JSU NewsWatch on TigerTV. For more news, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thanks for watching, and happy holidays, everyone.